I'm going to preview the Baylor versus Iowa State women's soccer game, which supposedly will be played on April 5th at 7 p.m. Central Time on ESPN Plus. There is also live stats. I just don't know if it's going to be delayed or not, because there is a chance, supposedly, of rain, but it looks like the rain should be done before 2 o'clock, before game time, so it seems that way right now when you try to look at the forecast. I'm just, in case something does change between now and then, if something happens, but it's still a few days here between now and the game. And I'm going to tell you one thing about Iowa State right now. They lost pretty handily to BYU. 7-0. Yeah, I'm not talking about in football either. I'm talking about women's soccer here. And they got killed. I mean, I'm not. And Iowa State right now is 1-4 in the conference, and Baylor is 1-3-1 in the conference. So this game is kind of important for both here. I mean, and Iowa State overall is like 4-1, and Baylor is 6-5-2 on the season. And it's important for both because the catch to make the Big 12 tournament, you have to be in the top 10 out of the 14 teams. That's the only way you're going to get to play. So now I set the record straight on why it's important for both of these teams, not just necessarily for one. But I mean, their lone win for Iowa State this year in the conference is Houston, and they're not great. They're not. They only just got their first conference win this week, last game against West Virginia by surprise. So, literally. And I do not know about the yellow card situation for Iowa State at all, but I really don't. I know for sure when you get up to 5 yellow cards on a player, they could be suspended. Obviously, a red means you're done. I mean, not just done, but you cannot play the next game. Suspension. That's just a keep in mind deal. Now, what are some players to keep it on for Iowa State? I would say Avery Gillahan, number 1, 5'11" goalie. That's a freshman. 25 goals allowed and 39 saves. They did play their backup, by the way, against BYU. Just a FYI. Though she allowed 3 goals and she got 5 saves, but I'm not going to mention her. Y'all can check it out in the description below. Next player to keep on is Salome Pratt. Salome Pratt with the SALOM''E. However you pronounce that, I apologize. Pratt. Yeah, PRAT. That's easy. Number 7, 5'5" forward. That's a senior. 3 goals on 22 shots attempted. Leah Khairy, Khairy. Number 11, 5'7" forward. That's a junior. 1 goal and 8 shots attempted. Lauren Hernandez is another player to keep an eye on. 5'7" midfielder. That's a sophomore. 1 goal on 7 shots attempted and 1 assist. That's the only reason why I'm going to mention that is because of scoring ability. Scoring. I mean, who has scored this year? Because they don't have a lot of players above 2 goals this year. They don't. Olivia Edwards, number 18, 5'7" defender. That's a senior. 1 goal and 3 shots attempted and 1 assist. Abigail Miller, number 24, 5'10" midfielder. That's a senior. 2 goals on 8 shots attempted. And a leading goal scorer for the season is Mira Emma, number 32, 5'3" midfielder. That's a senior. 4 goals on 22 shots attempted and 3 assists. And the last player is Kristen Booz, number 33, 5'5" forward. That's a senior. 1 goal and 6 shots attempted. I expect Iowa State to be fired up Baylor especially after that last game. They don't want to let that happen again. I'm pretty sure they don't necessarily want, of course, they don't want it to happen again. They don't want to allow 7 goals in the game, period. So you got to expect them to be fired up. And I will say this is a gettable game, a winnable game for Baylor here. One, it's at home, and Iowa State is a team that where you should win anyway, regardless of where it is. Obviously, you got outshot in the second half against Kansas State. You don't allow that to happen. I mean, and for the game overall because of what happened in the second half, and we were on the defense so much, and we were kept trying to like keep them off the board, and we did. It's just we gotta not allow so many shots. And last game, we allow like double-digit shots, so we don't want to have that. I mean, in a half, we don't want to have that. Oh no, we don't. I would also say you gotta have crisp passing, and it would help to set up some goals. Of course, you can't be indecisive, and you got to be aggressive. And I don't want to just take shots to just take shots. And I know at the same time, though, it doesn't have to be pretty to score. Just you got to execute your like set plays, like not just set. But I mean, not set. I didn't mean set plays. I meant set pieces like a free kick or a corner kick, because sometimes you could score off of those. I'm not saying it's a super high percentage or the normal way to score. I'm just saying in general, you got to be aggressive on defense and put the pressure on them and play on their own end of the field instead of so much on your own end. So I'm just being serious about that. And look, this is a game right here. You need to come out with a sense of urgency. I'm sure Iowa State is going to. Because, look, you need to find a way to make the conference tournament. This is one of the most winnable games on the schedule here. Last game, you got the win, and that's huge to get that win against Kansas State. It's just, you got to have, I'd rather have more than one win. And obviously, I don't think one win is enough to make the conference tournament as well as a tie. So you only got the hook to 4 points so far this year. Yeah, nobody on Iowa State, by the way, has more than 3 yellow cards. So, yeah, they're not going. There's no player you don't have to worry about who's not definitely not going to play and all that. And I will also say, you don't want to have a foul in the box or a handball in the box on defense. Well, I mean, that gives a penalty kick, and you know how hard penalty kicks are to defend for the goalie. I mean, it's literally 1-on-1. It don't give clear shots to Iowa State and make them turn the ball over on their own end instead of you. That's what we need to do. I mean, I'm serious, because you don't want to give so many easiest chance to score or mispossess the ball, and then they could score on you, like that. You get the point on that. It's just, also you gotta have your goalie step up and get some saves if you need be, and or punch the ball out on the corner kick, or just straight up grab it. I mean, I'm just telling the truth on that. And you got to win like the second, not just the first ball in the air, but the second one. I mean, first ball, but you got to win the second, and you got to play up to your style and make them out of system for a bit. And of course, you don't want yellow cards in general, because so many yellows, like 5 yellows, means you might not play the next game. In addition, you don't want a red either. Obviously, if you could draw a handball in the box or a foul in the box, that'd be huge. But I don't want to count on refs necessarily to calling that stuff, and we know how inconsistent sometimes they are. So I'm just saying, let's just leave no doubt, score on our own, and find a way to win this game. Because look, this is a game right here, like I said before, is very winnable. It's at home. against one of the most, one of the worst teams in the Big 12 here. When you look at the standings, and not just the standings, but overall record, this is a game where you can win the game. And I really would say this is a must-win period. You got to win this game because next game at UCF is not necessarily going to be easy. And I'm telling the truth. And you got to get some positive momentum here and play with confidence. Of course, you don't want to be cocky and right back. And I don't know about Jen Passion. She has not played ever since that injury against BYU. So you got to have other players step up as well. I'm just telling the truth. You got to find, obviously, a way to score. Prior to the last game, you were shut out. So, in every Big 12 game in the first four, you don't want that to happen here, and nor allow Iowa State to score, period. So, yeah, that's kind of important. You got to also be, consistent and more consistent, and you got to be hungry. Stay hungry. Because at this point, you have to try to win out as many games as possible, and this is one of those games where you should win the game. It is at home. Right now, when you look at the standings, I for sure know Baylor is at least tied for ninth in the conference. But let me check the current standings right now just to give a quick update on that. Obviously, Texas Tech's 5-0, TCU's 4-0-1, Oklahoma State's 4-1, UCF is 4-1. So you still have two tough games remaining and TCU on the road, but that's kind of winnable, and UCF on the road. That might be one. I don't know about either of those being wins, but you get the point. And you have Cincinnati. They're barely ahead of you. That's Oklahoma State's tied with UCF for third. BYU's tied, by themselves in fourth. Texas is tied with Oklahoma for fifth. Cincinnati is number 6 right now because. But if you go head to head, I would assume Texas Tech was 1, TCU 2, Oklahoma State 3, UCF 4, BYU 5, Texas 6, Oklahoma 7, Cincinnati 8, Baylor 9. And Baylor does not play West Virginia, by the way, this year. So, yeah, I don't know how they're going to do with that, who gets the tiebreaker edge. And West Virginia is number 9, and Houston's tied for 10th, but then again, Iowa State beat them. So, yeah, this is one of those games that you gotta have to find a way to win. You gotta have to find a way to win this game. I don't care how, because you want to put yourself in a situation where there's no doubt you're going to make the Big 12 tournament this year. So, overall, once again, the Big 12 standings right now: Texas Tech 5-0. TCU 4-1, Oklahoma State 4-1. UCF 4-1, BYU 3-0-2, Texas 2-2-1, Oklahoma 2-2-1, Cincinnati 1-2-2, Baylor 1-3-1, West Virginia 1-3-1, Houston 1-4, Iowa State 1-4, Kansas 0-3-1. 0-3-2 actually, and Kansas State 0-4-1. So this is one of those games where you could really help yourself in the standings, Baylor. I'm telling you the truth. Because if you win at your game and then you would assume that Cincinnati would lose their game, whoever it is, you're going to surpass them and put yourself in a better position up to 7 points. So then I don't know who Oklahoma plays, but let me just check on that first. And I know we played them this year, but I was in a practice game, so yeah, you don't want to. You might face them again, but I'm not positive. If you make the Big 12 tournament, you know what I mean. Yeah, they play West Virginia at West Virginia. Ooh, I would say that that's possibly a loss. But then again, West Virginia has just been down the last. I know they made it NCAA tournament last year, but the year before they didn't. I mean, and they're not. So possibly that's a win, but it wouldn't hurt either way for one of those two teams to lose between Oklahoma and West Virginia, because one, if West Virginia would lose and you would win, you would move up. Obviously, if, for example, Oklahoma would lose and West Virginia would win, then you would surpass them, and then Cincinnati, I think they play somebody tough next in the Big 12 schedule. But let me check right now. Yeah, Cincinnati. They play Oklahoma State. Yeah, I would have to think they would lose. So I think you have a chance to pass them too. So I will put the stats in the description below so y'all could see it. Anyways, if you like this content, like and subscribe on. I see you guys later. You're on the road to 600 subscribers now, and of course, the ultimate goal is to get up to 1K so we could get something to happen. And I highly encourage to comment and like the video too, because it helps the algorithm so more people can see it, and it adds the number of subscribers too, and hit the notification bell while you're at it so you don't miss from here every video here on out. So that's all.